what we want to do is that you get some more information from Daryl St. Clair, Special Assistant to the Deputy Secretary for Highway Administration. He will now cover the PennDOT Mentor-Protege program for the next 20 minutes, and we'll have a Q&A after that. I welcome Daryl St. Clair, Special Assistant to the Deputy Secretary for Highway Administration, to speak about the Mentor-Protege program.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Thanks a lot for having me here. That was a pretty cool presentation. What I'm going to speak about today ties a lot into that, the ProRank Academy and the website and all the training that they offer. So I was grateful for, I listened into every minute of it and learned a lot there. So yep, I'm going to present to everybody our Mentor-Protege program that we're looking to implement here, potentially this summer, hopefully. Just want to acknowledge who I've been working with to develop this program. So I'm not going to go through every name, but our Bureau of Equal Opportunity, who most of those individuals are on the line now. Also wanted to make sure that the Turnpike was involved with us. Our Bureau of Project Delivery within PennDOT, our policy office, some of which are on the line right now. Also key into making sure this program's successful, we had the industry involved with us from the beginning. So APC representing the contracting community, as well as ACECPA representing the consultant community. And then obviously ProRank is going to help us deliver the program. So why are we here? Why do we proposing a program? So PennDOT, as Catherine mentioned at the beginning of the program, PennDOT engaged in a disparity study. I believe it was 2018, and the numbers weren't good there, so I got it on the screen. So out of PennDOT dollars, only 0.1% of those dollars in the construction area were going to Black American-owned firms, and only 1.5% going to Black American-owned firms on the consultant side. And then as you compare that to the percent of population that is composed of people of color, I believe it's 11% in PA. Sometimes I Google it's 15% across the country. So that's where the disparities coming in. So we want to create a program that can help drive up those numbers. Now, you'll hear me, I'll highlight Black American-owned business a lot, but this program is open to all DBEs. But again, the main purpose is, the main highlight of the disparity study was that with the Black American-owned business being so low. So what else have we done so far, or what have we done so far? We've had set-aside projects. So we have a small business set-aside program. The pilot program was developed in 2017 and had 7 design agreements. And then in 2019, we expanded to include 8 construction inspection agreements. Also, we invested dollars into our ECMS program to enhance on-the-job training. So what that is for construction projects, based upon how many millions of dollars they are, there's a requirement that the prime contractor hire so many trainees. And it was a lot of paperwork trying to track the progress of those trainees, making sure that the contractors are meeting the requirement of training them 1,000 hours. So we automated our ECMS program to include that program. Also, e-notary, and ProRank may be even hearing this for the first time. So we continue to reduce the barriers as far as people trying to do business with us. So in COVID, there was a law passed that you didn't have to do, you could utilize the electronic notary. Well, there's an additional law passed that we don't even have to do notaries anymore. So what that means is if you were trying to be pre-qualified in construction, you had to get a notary and hand do all this paperwork and send it in to us. Now the law allows ECMS automatic workflow. You could self-certify. You don't need to hire a notary. So pretty cool enhancement that we started, and we're going to continue to deliver, just again to eliminate those pre-qualification barriers. So as part of developing this program, we researched other states. Just want to acknowledge who else is out there. So Minnesota and Virginia, they offer similar programs, but they're known as best in class, and as well as ProRank, in my opinion. So they're both of them offer similar services that ProRank does. During this presentation, we're going to add additional services to ProRank, and I'll describe that. And I believe that this will be the best program in the country based upon all the calls that we've been on listening to other states. Just one other one, we'll acknowledge that we're going to steal an idea from Illinois' Tollway offers an incentive in the design community whenever prime consulting firms mentor new DB firms. I'll explain that more later in the presentation. So as part of researching what can we do to make sure we have a good program here. So on the construction side, led by APC, just highlighting some of the main items that we found. Obviously, problems getting pre-qualified, that's probably number one, and getting new pre-qualification codes. And then introduction to prime contractors and trouble bidding work. And we also asked a question, would you participate in a mentor relationship program? And everybody said yes. On the consultant side, we're informed that consultants are reluctant to try new firms because of the questions PennDOT asked on our statement of interest. So on construction side, it's low bid. If you want to get work on the construction side, you got to partner with somebody or you're prime yourself, and it's low bid. On the consultant side, you submit a statement of interest and we get to pick who we want. It's not low bid. So we were asking questions that says, hey, like familiarity with the team or past relationship with the team and how well you've done with that team on past jobs. So based upon that, consultants are reluctant to try new firms. So we're going to ask new questions on the projects, and there's going to be additional incentives that I'll have up here shortly as well. So back to the construction. What's the recommendation on the construction side? Can we identify a more direct relationship between the contractor, being the mentor, and the protege? So what we came up with, we identified retired contractors that we will hire. ProRank will pair them with the proteges to give you an extra resource to help bid on a job, or you need help filling out paperwork on getting pre-qualified, or getting paired with a contractor, and if you want to get additional codes, et cetera. So that's new. Nobody else is doing that. That's something new that we're going to offer. On the consultant side, so again, we're going to change. We're going to have, I'm thinking it's 2 projects per district for the first year as a pilot to see if this works. But we're going to ask different questions on those projects, and we'll incentivize and select the consultant team based upon their willingness to try this mentor-protege program and try new DB firms out. And then as an additional incentive, we will make available 2% of the total hours in that agreement will be dedicated as an incentive to pay the mentor and the protege to incentivize that partnership and to help make sure that the mentors could help that protege be successful in future business. So I'm going to try to describe what this program is going to do. So ProRank is going to continue to administer the program as they just described to you. There's going to be, I'm calling it 2-phase classroom training. So you just went through a presentation on all the classes they offer. So we're still going to require that. I'm going to jump to this chart real quick and jump back. So we're going to have marketing. So our press office is going to market it. We're going to have ProRank market this, and we'll have figure out where all do we need to market this. Then proteges will sign up with ProRank through their website. We'll ask ProRank to create this through their website. And you saw ProRank already has filter criteria. What type of business do you want to be in? So we're going to make sure we have a questionnaire that the protege fills out. So we need to figure out what type of business do they want to get into, and what training they've already taken on your website, or what additional training that they need to take. So just within the world that I live in, so the orange section here is what type of business is out there within PennDOT. So we have design, and then you have construction, and then we also bid work through DGS, which is services. So that questionnaire, we need to know from you, the new DB business out there, what type of business do you want to get into? Maybe it's one or all of them. And then we need to make sure that you've taken all the trainings that align to doing business in each side. And we are going to offer additional trainings. We're going to assess all the trainings that you saw and see if there's additional ones that we could offer that we're missing. Go, for example, overhead rate. Let's go ahead and record PennDOT's expert on overhead rate, who approves it. He'll do like a half-hour course just on overhead rate, explain to you what's the expectations. Like the first couple years, you could get a safe harbor overhead rate just as a speedy analysis, but after 3 years, you're going to have to pay somebody to maintain an overhead rate for you, and we'll go through all that process. So that's just an example on the design side. Construction. So again, we've heard of a lot of the classes that ProRank already offers. Maybe we could just add to it. Let's have somebody speak or add an additional level of the course from the construction industry. The Turnpike's willing to get on the line and do an industry tips training for the Turnpike, the same as DGS. So we're going to add additional trainings to ProRank's training program that they just presented to you. So after you go through, there's classroom training, then there'll be, if you're in the construction industry, we'll go ahead and ProRank will pair you with those retired contractors. Maybe we have at least somewhere between 4 and 10 retired contractors that are available. Again, they can help you place your bid, help you become pre-qualified. So that's sort of the next phase on the construction side. I'm going to go over additional incentive later in my presentation. On the consultant side, we're going to ask ProRank, which you already do. You have a profile list in ProRank's website there of all the proteges who want to do business. Then these prime consultants will be required to, in order for them to participate and bid on these PennDOT projects, they're required to go to ProRank, go to this website, and figure out who they want to pair with to put in for these new projects. And we'll give those new projects to ProRank, and they'll put on that page that they showed where they advertised all new work that's coming out. So again, part of the marketing. So let me back up here to make sure I covered everything. So again, it's a two-step process. Let's add additional training, classroom training. Then once you've gone through the classroom training, we'll pair you up either on the design side or the construction side. And then there's going to be those additional incentives that are offered there. So this is above and beyond that yet. So what can we do, realizing that the number one issue is trying to become, on the construction side, is becoming pre-qualified so you could do additional work. So what we came up with was, let's create a predetermined amount line item. We're thinking it's a $25,000 incentive that would be offered to both the prime and the protege if the prime could get the protege a new provisional work code. So I think that's, no other state is doing that. I think that's a pretty neat idea. We developed that based upon listening to ProRank out there. So in order to pair with a contractor, you need to have one code to get in. Maybe it's highways and streets. And again, the retired contractor, being the mentor, could help you get the first code. But after you get in the door, let's try to continue to create additional incentives to help you get additional codes. So again, we think that's a pretty neat idea there. So we want to, how we're going to measure this to make sure we're successful. We're going to ask ProRank to maintain all this data. So obviously, number of proteges that are signed up with ProRank and want to participate in the program, number that are pre-qualified. Then we can measure the ones that adding additional codes, number of businesses who did work in their first project, and greater and greater, volume of dollars awarded to, and then greater than $1 million. On the consultant side, this is just their goals that the consultant industry has come up with: increased diversity and participation in the DB pool with underrepresented firms. Establish this program. Again, this program is open to new firms, or it could be existing DB firms, but you just haven't gotten a job yet, or maybe you've only gotten one job and you want this additional exposure. So it's open to both ends. And then provide a framework for success that draws firms to participate, and again, eradicate barriers to opportunity to add African-American-owned consulting firms. We continue to listen to your ideas. Again, pre-qualification is a barrier. We'll keep on plugging away additional ideas that we could do to eliminate those barriers. As far as success measures on the consultant side, number of agreements earmarked for the program. Right now, I'm hearing let's go at least 1 to 2 per district for the first year. number of protege firms participating, number of new firms that got business, and then the dollar increase going to those firms. All right, so what else do we have to do to get to the start line here? Again, it'd be cool to get this going this summer, fall at the latest. So it's subject to FHWA approval because we're going to use federal funds the federal funds go through these projects to pay for the incentive, also to pay pro rank, that we use federal funds for that. So we have presented this to FHWA and we're just working out those details. I can't commit on when we get the final approval from them. Need to amend pro rank's agreement to provide these additional services. Identify, we did have a call with our design community and ask them if they could start identifying some future design projects that we would add those new questions and incentives. Probably only a week away from developing that new training material and hiring the mentors that we would provide to pro rank to help out the proteges. Want to develop marketing to help market this program. We've already have the frameworks developed already. Just got to finalize it. We're going to require an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. So anytime a mentor is paired with a protege, let's have a document that shares that they agree upon what's the expectations, what needs to be filled out, what you need to report back to pro rank, how many times a month do you need to meet, stuff like that. Program guide and a questionnaire. We already have it, a draft developed, getting it reviewed right now by ACC and APC and FHWA. Then pro rank will maintain the program guide and the questionnaire. The questionnaire again is at the start of the program. The proteges need to fill out a document that tells us what business do they want to get into: design, construction, DGS services. What training do you want to take? Do you need? And then we need to implement the construction and consultant ECMS incentive line items that I spoke about there. Okay, I spoke about the additional pre-qualification ECMS enhancement. Again, the law was changed that will allow ECMS workflow to accept that pre-qualification document instead of hiring a notary. So right now we're allowing e-notary. We're in the process of changing ECMS that you don't even need the e-notary, and you just email through, do automated workflow through ECMS for that pre-qualification process. Let's establish a review committee. Let's meet quarterly to make sure that what we're proposing here is working. I foresee this is probably a $3 million investment that PennDOT's making to put into these incentives. But at the end of the day, it's an investment we need to make, and then it'll help drive competition in the future. The more pool of contractors we have and consultants doing business, it should help with bid prices in the future. Additional forums and go out and market this program and market its success. And then if we are successful, let's do some recognition and awards at conferences. So that's my presentation. Let's go ahead and do you want me to open up for questions or?
Sure, Darryl. Thank you so very much for that presentation. Yes, please go ahead. The platform is open for questions right now. If you have any questions to Darryl, thank you for all that critical information. And we have our first question from Tabitha Quigley. Are all of the projects primarily construction projects through PennDOT? Any IT projects?
There's no IT projects. It's construction projects and consultant projects. As far as IT projects, the IT doesn't actually work for PennDOT. IT, probably 2-3 years ago, the Commonwealth merged all IT departments, and they actually work for the governor's office of administration. So that's why IT is separate from PennDOT now. It's basically highway construction and design.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tabitha Quigley from FutureNet, the IT consulting company. Thank you so very much. And also from Christian Bianco, is this program a good fit for suppliers?
Yeah, it's available to suppliers as well. Good point.
All right. Good deal. All right. Thank you so very much, Christian, for your question, and Tabitha.
Can I ask a question directly as opposed to chatting it?
Yes, no problem. Just let us know who you are and what company you're from.
Yes, this is Brian Ansari from Brian Ansari and Associates. We do full service program management. So one of the things I'm curious about is when you look at your program management services, whether it be QA, QC, and construction inspection, construction management, etc., are you looking at that as a potential area for mentoring? And if once the mentoring is complete, is that mentoring focused on creating subs, or is it intended to create primes that can actually bid directly with PennDOT? Thank you.
Yeah, let's see, two-part question. So let's see, construction services, construction inspection. Yes, if a district wanted to do that as opposed to a project-specific design agreement, it's certainly open for a district to go out with a construction services type agreement and utilize the same exact incentives. So yes, that is eligible. I just don't know. I'm in the process now of surveying the districts on what all projects and what type of projects that are going into it. The second part of the question was, can you repeat that again?
Yes. Upon completion of the mentoring, is this mentoring intended to make firms visible to PennDOT directly for participation on projects with them, either at a discretionary level or direct bid? Thereby
okay.
giving.
Yeah. So on the design side, the work we would select construction inspection services and construction management services through design. So the benefit would be, as you participated as a sub through a prime consultant who's always getting that work, you're getting that additional exposure. And then hopefully next time you would put in for agreement being you being the prime, and you would get that agreement being a prime, or it could go either way, or additional primes see your firm out there and they're asking you to be subs with them. So we'd like to see it go both ways.
If I can make a suggestion, I've been kind of in and around public sector procurement, governance, operations, et cetera, for almost 3 decades. And one of those things that I think sometimes get lost in the sauce is, firms that are not design firms or not construction firms. It's kind of rational for firms to look for the regions to look for relief in their biggest pain points. And frankly, the pain points that they're familiar with or that will kind of rise to the surface. And I think contracting is one of those. That's where you can kind of see the bleeding. You can also see the bleeding on the design side when you're setting goals and looking at goal achievement. But then inside of professional services are a whole nother universe of opportunities, which are often kind of by default going to the AECOMs and the Stantechs and the HNTBs. That would be program management services. And so if there's no kind of contemplation about how that particular piece of the expenditure pie of the design dollars, or so there's 10% design dollars in a project, are going to be spent on program management, then that becomes an area where you're not going to see any gains because it's going to be kind of driven by the status quo because it's not getting any attention.
Yep. I'm glad you brought up. Good point. We'll make sure I'm going to make a note to make sure we include and highlight that as part of our program guide. Make sure we're not missing that opportunity.
All right. Great. In the meanwhile, everybody who's participating, who's listening, great questions. Thank you so very much for those questions. We want to keep it going here. We got about 4 minutes until we break for lunch for 30 minutes, but we're going to drop a poll right now to see about your interest in the Mentor-Protege program. And we'll be dropping more polls throughout the visit. But please, as you see the poll come up, please answer. This will help us drive information that we need to be more efficient.
I realized I forgot one point. We want to, as Chilo mentioned during his presentation, some of your training is reimbursed, and we want we want this program, the Protégés, to be reimbursed for going through the training. So potentially, maybe we offer up to 40 hours of training at $50 an hour. And then if there's any travel costs, if we actually go in person at some point. So want to throw that out there, that want to continue the ability to reimburse and pay people for actually going through the training program, just again to eliminate those barriers, because you're taking the day off, you're losing billable hours by going through this training. So wanted to add that.